Greetings YouTube. This is a passenger side of a car. No surprise there. You probably figured that one out. But this right there is the lock for your door. And this has been utilized by a number of different companies that make these. These are handles that allow a person who has mobility issues to get in and out of a vehicle more easily. And I picked up these two versions of this tool at a flea market for $4. So I paid $2 a piece, so wasn't much of a buy-in there for me. And I wanted to test them out, see if I think one is superior over the other. And we're going to use both of them. One of the better of the two I'll give to my mother-in-law for her car, and the other one we'll put in my wife's car because her mother goes in that car once in a blue moon. So each vehicle that gets used by my mother-in-law will have one of these devices for future use. Now, this one here is called the Handy Bar, and it is solidly built. It has a seatbelt cutter in there, and this has a very nice solid feel. Now see, it's got a point here, so this can be used as a glass breaker in the event you need to get out of a vehicle, which is nice. And I also, frankly, as someone who designs these things as a hobby, that would make a fairly effective last-ditch weapon. Seriously, you swing that and hit somebody with that point, they're really not going to be happy if you hit them in the head. It could be enough to stun someone and make them decide that someone else is a better target. This one is much lighter. It has it feels like it's much less durable. It has a seatbelt cutter as well. The big advantage with this one is that it has a button here, which is a flashlight. The idea being, I think, helping you find the latch in the dark. But if your car door is open, you're got a light inside. I mean, mine's on right now and it's broad daylight, you know? So, kind of useful. I mean, if you need a flashlight in your car, I mean, it's daylight. I can still see with this, so it's helpful. But it's much lighter. It feels much less sturdy. So this is how you use them. Come in, and then you go. And then you... Now this one, if you push it against the vehicle, it's okay, but there's a fair lot of slop in that one. This one, the Handy Bar, has more good this way, but it does this more readily because you can't turn it. So points for this one, because if you push it against the frame, it has a more sturdy feel to it. But this one here, the Handy Bar, just feels more secure. Okay, now I'm going to pull this one out, put it on the dash, and then I'm going to swing around, hop in the car, and show you. The idea is, if you've got this in the car, you can grab it. You then come around like this. You can pull yourself to the edge of the seat. There we go. Then, which is useful. Now, I don't need that at this point in my life, but that's the idea behind these devices. And I think it would work better if you had a vehicle with a larger latch, and you can see from this latest design, I'm hooking in this notch, but it's got two more. So if you had a larger vehicle, like an SUV like my wife has, I think the latches are larger, so you should be able to get it in a little deeper, so it might feel a little bit more stable. It would not slop around quite as much. But frankly, I think even in the fact that it's sloppy, it still feels really strong. I like this design. The Handy Bar, in my opinion, is clearly the better quality of the two tools, but I think they both have utility in and of themselves for their purpose. And like I said, that can function as a glass breaker, and I think that in a desperate situation, it could function as a last-ditch self-defense device. And having a seatbelt cutter in your vehicle is also a major plus in my book. Always useful to have in case of an emergency. Because let's face it, most people don't carry a blade on them like I do. Heck, I got a spare in my glove box. So I have, not to mention my trunk. I carry an axe in my trunk, so and a crowbar, so I'm prepared for all kinds of things. But yeah, I think these are really quite cool. And if you know anyone that has mobility issues, I think that this is something that would make an excellent gift if you can convince them to use it. Because let's be honest, some of us don't want to admit that we are having mobility problems. My balance is much worse now than it was when I was younger because I can't feel my feet anymore because I suffer from neuropathy. So I try to make sure that I'm always careful how I walk. And when I go in the woods and stuff, I bring a walking stick now. So I cover myself. But yeah. Good idea. I wish it were a little less sloppy. I'm not sure 100% how to fix that, I'll be honest, because it has to fit many different latch sizes, and though they're probably all some version of, you know, square or rectangle, they're going to probably vary quite a bit in width this way and length that way. So I'll cut them some slack there. But I think if this were actually in contact with the frame by being lower in the notch, you'd have more stability because it might even sit. It might even sit on this ledge right there, and that would really enhance the stability. But there you go, folks. These have been assistant bars for mobility, and I think that they are quite useful.